Hey Blue Crew, yes, it's me. I am finally here with a video that everyone has been asking about, an artist review of the Epson ET-8550 Ecotank printer. First off, this is not a sponsored video, but if Epson wanted to send me money, I would not complain about that. So, hey, Epson! This is a printer that I've had for a little bit over a year now, and I've used it for a whole lot of projects. If you want to check out the Epson website, it'll tell you more about this Ecotank printer. First off, it is made for art and photos, or at least that's what they say. This one, the 8550, can print up to 13 by 19 paper, which is Super B. It claims to be able to last 2 years with the ink that it comes with and all of the ink refills, and I definitely put that to the test. One of the questions you may be asking yourself is, why bother getting a printer when you can easily send out for printing from, a printing company or even someplace local, support local business. It's always nice. Well, honestly, the reason that I got a printer is that I wanted to be able to print on demand while still having control over my own work. I have used an outsourced printer in the past, and they did pretty good, but when I started printing in earnest and I wanted to print more and more and more, when I went to order new prints through my printer, I saw a huge spike in the price because this was in the middle of the pandemic and the cost of anything that came from wood went up a lot. So I decided to take it into my own hands and just splurge on a printer. And let me tell you, it took a lot of research and talking to a lot of other artists who do print from home. And the ET-8550 came up quite a lot. So I went for it. Let me go ahead and start out with the cons, the downside of this printer. For me, that's the most important part. The biggest issue with this printer as a device is that it is expensive. If you see the price here, it's actually gone down since the time that I bought it. I spent almost $800 buying it from Best Buy. That was a lot of commissions and birthday and Christmas and other holiday money that I had been saving for a while. If it's worth it, well, we'll see. Another thing that I don't like about this printer is that it feels like it's cheaply made. I won't lie to you, as a device. It is all plastic. Every single piece of it is. There's not really a lot of metal in it, so it feels kind of not very sturdy, right? So first off, when I'm unboxing, I was like, oh, okay, what the heck did I just buy? Another complaint that I have is that this printer is so slow. So I printed my own comic from home. As you know, if you haven't bought it already, I will be moving to a wholesale printer because, long story short, I don't have time. Printing my own comic book, which was 28 pages, could take up to 20 minutes just to print the inside. Front and back, 28 pages, 20 minutes. That is so slow. So if you're trying to print a lot, it can be very prohibitive. Now, with those cons out of the way, let me tell you some of the good parts of this printer. So even though it is all plastic and when you're feeling it, it feels like it's not very sturdy, it does look really nice sitting on my bookshelf where I store it. And it stores really well because it opens and self-closes, which is really nice. So it stays as like a little box and you don't have to worry about anything breaking off. It also prints really large, up to Super B, all the way down to a really small paper size, which is super, super nice. I have not used the Super B sized paper yet, but I am definitely interested in doing so soon. You can also print odd sizes like 6x9, but you will need a different software to do that. If you're trying to use the Epson software that comes with the printer, you will have to download another, still free, Epson software to be able to edit and make any odd size prints that you want, but it does work. Also, having a paper input from the back was really, really important to me because, as you know, if you load from the bottom, it will fold the paper and roll it. So if you're trying to do a thicker cardstock, you can end up either damaging the inside of your printer, or you could bend it, tear it, jam it if you're trying to feed it from the bottom. But if you feed it from the back, you don't have that problem at all. And this printer also has like a very, very, very far back printing option where you can actually take off the back of the printer and feed it directly through. I've only done this once because it only comes up for certain types of paper, and honestly, I did not see a difference. It didn't help. So for me, not worth it. Maybe something important for you. And probably the best thing about this printer as a device is that the ink lasts forever. So I have printed 30 comic books, tons and tons of prints, stickers, all kinds of things, even stuff that's like not even art related, stuff I've used for my house, and I have still not had to fill up the ink. These ink wells last forever, and that for me is super, super important because I'm able to keep the cost low for my customers because I'm not paying out the nose for ink every 10 minutes. Looking at the printer as a device is all well and good, but does it actually print? Guys, I am really happy with this printer as far as what it's able to produce. If you look here, you're going to see a lot of examples of different prints that I have made, and just, for clarification, it's really important to know that the type of paper that you buy is just as, if not more important than the printer that you get. Okay, so the paper is very important. I'll probably do a video about the paper as well, but when you find the right match, it is heaven. It comes out great. So I am really, really happy with how this printer prints. Even though it's slow, it always comes out really nice. The details are always there. There's no fading. There's no pixelization, right? It doesn't bleed for the most part. Once you print, it doesn't take long to dry. I can just, put my hand directly on it and not worry about it. And overall, it comes out really good. And so far, it hasn't bent or caused any issues with any of the paper that I've used. I've used matte paper, I've used glossy vinyl, I've used like metallic finish for stickers. And honestly, I think the only thing that I haven't done is use photo paper because I'm not a big fan of a glossy finish on a print. But everything else, it has been able to produce pretty well. If you look really closely, again, you're not seeing dots, you're not seeing grainy. It looks really nice. The colors always come out really good. But again, caveat, the paper is really important, and also knowing how to edit your photos, your images for print is super, super important, because if you don't edit it right, do color correction right, you're going to print out something that looks like garbage. And it's not the printer's fault. That I also learned the hard way. It's a really good printer, but there is one big issue that I've had as far as the print quality. The big problem that I've had as far as using this printer is that I still haven't figured out why. It leaves marks. It bleeds a bit on the edges of glossy vinyl and metallic sticker paper. I still haven't figured out why. I really have no idea, because it doesn't do it all the time. But if I try to format an image that goes almost all the way up to the corners, it just spits ink on the sides, and that has ruined a few of my stickers, as you can see here. Now, again, if I make sure that there's a border, a white border, I don't have that issue. So I still haven't figured out exactly why this happens. The paper that I use for the cover of my comic, it is kind of a like more glossy satin finish, and it didn't do it with that. I still don't know why that happens, but when I do, I will come back and I will let you guys know. And that has been my experience with the Epson ET-8550 printer as an artist. The biggest issues are that the cost is really high and the speed is pretty slow. But in my opinion, the ink life definitely makes up for it. With the upfront cost, the lifelong cost of upkeep will be a lot less. As far as the printing actually goes, it does have some trouble with vinyl, but if you can overcome that, the quality of everything that you print is really, really nice. And it is also versatile with sizing of your paper and the different paper types that it can take. I would definitely, definitely recommend this for any projects that you have at home as studio printing. But if you guys have any recommendations for printers for artists, drop them in the comments below and let everyone know. Again, thank you for watching, and until I see you next time, make good decisions.